Chisme Café y estamos muy felices que todo están aquí.
Buenas tardes todos, ¿cómo están? Just wanted to say, just see how everybody was doing.
Just want to say, see how everyone's doing. We
Yes.
want to see how everyone's doing.
Exactly. We'll start it off as usual. Announcements. We don't have anything this week. We did have our friends come up this weekend. So that was
Died
cool.
a little bit. Gave a lot of money to a bar on Friday night.
But just
kind of chill.
Snow here. But
it is not spring yet. It's snowing consistently here. I think we got like a total of 4 inches, and I think this storm cell is supposed to give us like 8 inches. So I don't know exactly how much we've gotten, but still better. We're still doing better than Fargo right now. So
updates on gear. Morgan's working on that. So she's working on a couple more sweatshirts and shorts. So just hold on. We'll get to your gear within the next couple weeks. So thanks for everybody who's ordered. We do appreciate it.
You got a short timeline for like 14 orders.
Yeah.
There, babe.
Just in a few weeks then, Morgan. So do you have any shoes yet, Morgan?
No, I said mine, but it's not spring yet.
So I have a few of them just in regards to more interesting. So I was at a sales meeting and then conversation came up about an injection that helps you lose weight, which I thought was really weird. So I looked into it, and in June 2021, the FDA did approve Wegovy semaglutide, which is an injection program. You have multiple weeks that you get an injection once a week. This actually helps fight against chronic weight management and obesity and overweight. So it was actually developed to help individuals with type 2 diabetes kind of reduce their weight loss. So how it works is that it mimics a hormone called glucagon-like peptide 1. So GLP-1 is the abbreviation. So it targets it, so it mimics it. So in the areas of the brain where hunger or appetite actually happens, so it just mimics it, so it reduces your urge to eat or be hungry. So that's kind of what it does.
So how long, if they get this series of shots, how long does it last? So how long does the benefits last of this?
So as long as you're doing the injections, it's just you still have to change your diet. You still have to do everything that would be incorporated into losing weight. So living a better lifestyle, but it just aids with the control of being hungry.
So like if you stop this shot, you're just gonna
basically. Yeah, it's not a one fix situation where it's just here, this is what I do and I'm done and it's fixed. But it helps. So it's actually beneficial for people that have a hard time just controlling how much they eat. But there is side effects, so it's not just an easy situation where you just think it's
nothing's free in this world. So.
But there are situations, you get your standard, just your standard effects of sick. You're sick, appetite, nausea, headaches, fever. The big one that was very concerning is there's the gastro side effects, in which you can also see, and it affects how you like consume food, but you want to throw up all the time. But I'm trying to see where it's at.
There's like
the thyroid. So the big one is the tumor in the thyroid C cell. So that's the big one. So the big thing that they do warn you about is that you can get a cancerous situation from doing this in your thyroid. So that's the big warning. But in regards to the study, that's what I wanted to hit on. They did a placebo effect, and then they gave the other group of people the actual shot. And this group was about 3,000 people. Half of them were placebo, and the other half did take this injection. And then they're all average age is about 46 years old. And there was a 12.6% weight loss just from doing these injections compared to the other group.
So before they did this, did they test like their like hormones and stuff to like make sure like they were both on like even fields? Because I know like if you're higher in like estrogen or higher in like testosterone, like you're going to like whether you gain weight or lose weight easier, like that's gonna have an impact on it. They do
No
anything
idea.
like that.
The study didn't say that. It's probably one of those categories where they broke it down and made you check a box to see if you're in that range. I know they did another study that was just for people who had type 2 diabetes. And did the exact same group. They had one at placebo and then also one that, so they were doing the injections. The injections in that group were, they showed about 6% weight loss. So it does work. It does hold your appetite. But you know, with anything in that situation, there is negative effects when you do it. But it's more of a, if you're very, very obese, it's not just someone that wants to lose some belly fat. You have to do consultation, and it's got to be approved by the doctor before they put you on this.
And I think one of the most common ones right now, I think, is like Ozempic.
Yeah, I think that was on there.
That's the one that I've been hearing about the most. Where I saw some stuff too of like, yeah, it can help you lose weight, but just like think of all the other side effects it can have. Because I know Christian, he mentioned some of them, but there's probably a lot that we don't know of yet, since it has only been say a couple of years.
Yeah.
And like I know that losing weight for people can be really hard, but just try all you can before going down this route, I would say. Just like if you're working out, don't just like go on drugs right away to build muscle, you know.
Like, just hop on trend.
Like
there is
try all the things you can before going this route, because it's not as healthy as just losing weight on yourself on your own.
Morgan brings up a good point. So there is like an epidemic situation with individuals that have just started working out, bodybuilding. So I'm assuming some of you have seen the reels where people just hop on trend, or trend is your answer when weightlifting. So it's actually a problem because you have young individuals also doing the same thing. So instead of working their way up there, they just hop on anabolic steroids, which is trend, and other things to put on size. Issue is that when you're introducing that stuff, it is also very negative.
Right.
And at a young age, it's even worse because you're developing and your body's trying to figure itself out. So if you supplement, testosterone, and you're 20 years old,
it's gonna really impact your like natural ability to produce testosterone, because just a lot of negative side effects.
When you introduce outside
sources to solve your problem.
Like Morgan said, try everything else beforehand. But like I said, for this situation, you do have to get a consultation from a doctor so they don't just prescribe it. Other methods to look at.
Yeah.
And then the second achievement that I had that's really big is the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. So if you, over the weekend on Friday, actually the bank collapsed. By that, I mean that they filed for like bankruptcy. So the bank completely closed down, and the
FDIC
hopped in.
And they didn't, on Friday, they didn't trade their stock. So like Thursday, they were trading stock. And then Friday, it just like was not on the stock market. And I know I've listened to some videos, you found it, and there's just, this could spiral into a really big thing. So just, but Christian can go on.
So basically what ended up happening is that during the whole COVID pandemic, and this is a tech company, so a tech bank, so a lot of startup companies out of that area and put money into this bank and get money out of this bank. So what ended up happening is that when all these tech companies blew up, there's a bunch of money in it. So what banks usually do is invest the money that you put into the bank and they invest it somewhere. So they invested it into bonds, which is a normal thing. It's usually about 3 to 4%, I think, is what you get for returns on bonds, which is usually a safe situation. What ended up happening is that the individuals that wanted their money into the bank basically pulled out their money. So let's say that they put it into an investment and it's not doing well. They still have to sell that investment to pay the individual that wants their money back. So that's kind of how it collapsed. So they actually owed more money than what they were actually brought in. So,
and when you think about like banks and how they make money, when the interest rates were 2% on mortgages or 2% on cars, really great for the buyer or the person who's taking this money out. You're really accumulating very little interest over the 30-year life of your mortgage for your house or your 5-year car loan, if that's what you want to do. But the banks are not making very much money. You think of like 2% on $200,000 or 7% on $200,000. So they're really not making as much money as they should be right now.
So, but yeah, that's how it collapsed. I mean, it's just something to think of. Finance ways is that banks can collapse just based on their investments. So that's kind of what's going on.
I think one of the big things that they are warning against, or like what I saw on this, was they are thinking that the most impact will be on like the smaller regional banks, not so much like the large, like, I don't know, probably like Wells Fargo, US Bank, those types of banks, but just like not going and pulling out your money. Because when you think of it, like the bank doesn't have your money. Yeah. They go and they invest that money to make money. And then when you're asking for, say, $150,000, they don't have that. So they have to sell something to then get you that money.
Yeah. Yep, and they'll sell it regardless if they're going to take a loss or not, because they owe you the money that you put in, because it's your money.
Right.
So
choose your bank wisely.
And then the last cheese may I have is that brisk walking for just 11 minutes a day slashes risk of premature death by 23%. So when I read this article, that's a very highlighting key point. Dragged me, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
It's like clickbait.
Yeah, and then I read into the article. So it's supposed to be a 30 million people study. So I thought ahead. I'm like, "Oh, they questioned 30 million people and they kept track of." No, they compiled a bunch of information, a bunch of literature, of case studies, peer-reviewed articles, and they compiled all these to make up 30 million actual targets that they actually looked in. So they didn't physically do the study. It was more of an analytical side, which is you can also do there's experiments that you conduct, and there's experiments that you use other information to compile your case study. But the information I did pull out was actually very beneficial. So if you at least reach 75 minutes per week of moderate and test physical ability, it has shown to reduce heart disease, stroke, and as well as some types of cancers. If you hit based on all the studies that they're reading, the 150 minutes is like the best bang for your buck. So if you're at 150 minutes of active activity, it is shown to actually decrease heart disease, strokes, and some sorts of cancers. So then I looked into why exercise is beneficial. But just basically, if you're doing moderate to heavy exercise, your cardiovascular system is working. So if there is a stroke, it's running through your body and it's circulating out. So it doesn't just sit there, because there's a thing where if you have a stroke, every day you have small amounts of strokes throughout your body, but they just don't clots, not strokes, clots, and they're all throughout your body. And if you're circulating them through, they break apart, and you don't have that effect.
And you have more oxygen in your blood, right, when you work out?
Yes, so you're bringing more oxygen to oxidize the cancerous points that would make cancer cells.
But then also, when you do work out and you sweat, you're also sweating out those toxins that you have within your body. So I'm sure that's probably something
Yeah.
that helps too. So those toxins aren't just sitting and floating through your body and like attaching to cells and stuff. So
150 per week.
So that's like
20 minutes a day. No, that's 100. Half hour a day.
No, that's more.
Okay, so between 20 to 30 minutes a day if you're actively doing something, doing a brisk walk, going out for a bike ride. I know in the Midwest, anywhere actually is cold, winter kind of sucks.
It's
So
really
staying
hard.
active kind of sucks, but
finding other ways to do it, like, I mean, we've talked about it before. We obviously go snowboarding on the weekends when we can, and then we've like been squatting every day and we've been doing pull-ups every day. So it's something where like we're not doing our normal like bike rides, we're not going on walks every day, but we're still trying our best to move our body. And I mean, that's all that really counts, right?
Yeah.
Like you're trying your
Yes.
best.
So out of all the achievements, I mean, there's stuff on banking, weight
lots
loss,
on health.
but yeah, that's kind of what I found out this week. Just so you guys can stay updated with some of the things that are currently going on.
Yeah, and kind of keeping on that route of health and wellness. I mean, we said it before, like we spent lots of money at a bar this weekend, but like we wanted to talk about
being hungover.
hangovers. So obviously when you are a little older, you feel the effects of alcohol a little bit more. So Christian asked some people about what they do with their hangovers, and we'll get into that, but I wanted to talk about some of the like side effects of alcohol and what you can feel as like in your hangover, and then we'll go into those. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So common symptoms of a hangover. Dehydration. So I'm sure everyone feels this way is when they are drinking a lot of alcohol, they feel like I don't want to break the seal. Like you don't want to go to the bathroom and break your seal, and you feel like you're always going to the bathroom. So this is actually caused by when you're consuming alcohol, your body, it blocks your body's ability to release your anti-diuretic hormone. So this hormone usually helps your body store water in your kidneys. So when it's blocked, your kidneys can't save that water storage in your kidneys. So it increases your urine production, which is why you're always going to the bathroom when you're going or out drinking with your friends, whatever. So fatigue. So alcohol increases the production of adenosine, which helps you fall asleep really fast, but that hormone wears off really fast also, so you wake up a lot earlier than like when your body is fully rested. So when you think of it, like I'm someone who can fall asleep really fast when I'm drunk, but then I still wake up at like 6 a.m. And I might have gotten like four hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I mean that's the one thing is you just don't sleep well. It's not good sleep. And I mean
you don't.
Anybody, I don't care how drunk, how you go to bed buzzing, you wake up and you're up in the middle of 3-4 hours. You wake up, go to the bathroom, like you're still not very good sleep. So you're just fatigued.
So then it also it disrupts your ability to REM sleep as well. So another common symptom is vomiting, and there's not really clear studies on this, but one of the reasons why they think this happens is when your body is processing alcohol, it reduces acetaldehyde. How do you say that?
Acetaldehyde.
Yeah, acetaldehyde, and that's the first byproduct. So this is a toxic chemical, so it's known to cause sweating, nausea, and vomiting. So cytokines also are small proteins used in your immune system, and that may to be blamed because your body's producing more of those proteins. Also, it stimulates your pancreatic enzyme, so that could also be a reason why you vomit when you're hungover. Headaches. So headaches could be caused by alcohol altering your serotonin and dopamine levels. That could cause headaches because when you're not on alcohol, they're trying to balance themselves out. Also, when consuming alcohol, your blood vessels actually expand. And when they expand or contract, it causes pain. So your brain is just kind of where's all my blood? I'm assuming. Or this is too much blood.
That's also a good concept because you see it when people are out football games and they don't feel cold because their blood vessels have expanded, so the blood is closer to the outside or inside, but it makes it seem like you're warm, but you're not. I mean, you're still freezing out there. So that's also just when it constructs and expands on blood vessels, kind of another side effect that I've seen.
And then that also causes bloating. So that's one of the reasons why your face might look puffy the next day, or you're just not feeling great. So alcohol also depletes your body's vitamins, especially vitamin B. So one of the things or the tips and tricks that I saw was taking vitamin B and drinking a lot of water before consuming alcohol could lessen your hangover. So your liver takes the first hit of processing your alcohol. So the more you drink, the more stress is on your liver. So then your liver is just working overtime and can't really process those toxins. It is recommended not to traumatize your liver even more the next morning with painkillers. I know everyone's hand me some ibuprofen, hand me some Aleve, but don't do that. Fight it off because it's just going to make your liver work even harder. Anxiety. So some people experience a lot of anxiety when they're hungover. And this is due to when alcohol leaves the body. Your body is really having that rebound effect, and it produces glutamate to spring into action, so it can make you feel jittery, irritable, or down. So Christian, this is something that you've always said that you're I'm old now, I always have hangovers. So does age actually make you have worse hangovers? Yes. So why? Every time you are drinking alcohol, you're using those vital resources from your body. They said in the article, your ammo, to defend your body from those toxins. So when we drink more and we age, we are running through those ammo storages. So it results in secreting less liver enzymes to process that alcohol. So if you're anything like Christian, you're after 21, I just had the worst hangovers. You probably have just been drinking, and your body is not producing and secreting as many enzymes. So
and just to add some other points on some of the key points I also looked up. So depending on kind of the liquor or kind of the alcohol that you consume, you can also have, it's called coningers. It's a compound produced during fermentation. And these can actually aid to headaches and stomach aches. It's produced during the fermentation process, and it's actually seen more in dark liquors. So if you're a dark liquor kind of person, that's what you're going to be seeing. And then for wine drinkers, I can't stand wine because I think it's nasty. There's also sometimes sulfites, and these sulfites interact with you when you drink wine and are known to give you a harder headache, which I have talked to people, and when they drink wine, there's such thing as that, I have a worse hangover. So that might be it due to it. Some of the sulfites that are in the drink can cause a worse of a headache.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know some wine, if you get wine from say like Argentina or Spain or Italy, they don't allow so many like chemicals in their wine, or like just growing of the grapes. So people have said that they don't have as worse of hangovers when they drink not American wine. So that's also something that could impact it. But
So I was talking to Morgan, and I did ask a bunch of our friends what they do. So my hangover cure is I have ramen. I make sure it's spicy, and then I always have a raspberry lemonade, raspberry frisk iced tea raspberry, and I chew gum majority of the day just because I can't get that alcohol taste out of my mouth. And the reason I drink the brisk is because it has a lot of sugar. It makes my stomach feel a lot better.
mm-hmm.
But when talking to Morgan, the best way to fix your hangover is just to never consume alcohol.
Right. Right. Like
that's what all the notes are saying is that just don't have alcohol and you won't ever have a hangover. Which is fair because my dad has never had a sip of alcohol, so he's never been hungover. So yeah, so it's possible. Is it fun? No.
I mean, we should, like, you can't have a lot of fun without alcohol, but like there's sometimes like in moderation it's fun. So I, on the other hand, like have never gotten really, really hungover. There's been a couple times, and when I'm really, really hungover, I just like can't function, and it just takes me time to get over my hangover. I mean, everyone, right? But I don't do anything special. I just make sure I drink a lot of water. I don't eat anything special. I'm a creature of habit, so probably going to wake up and eat the same damn breakfast I did for the last week, you know? So it's nothing like I do anything crazy.
Our friends, there's, some people just say I sleep all day. Other people say I have McDonald's. They'll have something greasy. Other people, they just are absolutely just worthless. They just cocoon inside their house and not leave.
So some people I guess one thing I do is make sure I shower after I drink. I shower, and that makes me feel a lot better. And Eduardo, he's like
such a weird dude.
Shower and cereal.
A bowl of cereal before he goes to bed. I know other people take a pill. They'll drink enough water and take some pills before they go to bed. Before they, if they've been out drinking. Eduardo's just weird, has a bowl of cereal. Dude's got issues.
So let's talk about the quote unquote proven cures that I found. So magnesium. So they said 400 milligrams of magnesium may relieve some of the pressure and pain you're feeling, whether it's like a headache or your body is just aching.
So magnesium is, if I remember right, in the biology standpoint, I think it's a precursor. So it's used to allow potassium in and sodium out.
Okay.
So I think it's like an ionic buffer that is used in the system, if I remember right, or I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass.
No, it makes sense because they also said potassium is definitely something you need when you are recovering from alcohol.
And those, that's it's usually in your urine. So if once you start drinking, you're going to the bathroom a lot, you're secreting a lot of this. So replenishing it with some magnesium is definitely makes sense.
And I guess that makes sense when you deplete your body of vitamins, because you are going to the bathroom and that's how you really sell your vitamins. So number 2, coconut water. So this is really high in electrolytes, including potassium that you just mentioned. And that's what your body needs post consuming alcohol. One other thing is ginger tea. So this helps with your digestive upsets. One that I was really surprised about was eggs. So they recommended you consuming eggs.
I can't even look at them when I'm hungover.
Because
so
it has L-cysteine, which helps break down.
Is that an amino acid?
Yeah. Okay. It helps break down the toxins and helps your body release them. So it also said complex carbs. So they recommended sweet potatoes actually. So sweet potatoes have beta-carotene, potassium, vitamin A, C, and B6. So just really high in those vitamins that you're releasing. They even said if you're going out to brunch, just get a sweet potato hash because it usually has obviously has the sweet potatoes and has the eggs in it. So vitamin B6, so they recommended 1,200 milligrams before and after drinking. So your body isn't releasing all of those. Bone broth, they said it just helps restore your electrolyte balance. So like when you think about it, Christian also really likes to have like pho after drinking, and it makes sense now, right? Because like that's true, just like bone broth soup. So you're getting the bone broth to help balance those electrolytes out.
And that's a big thing. I think any culture, especially I think Asians and Hispanics. Hispanics, it's either menudo, caldo de res. I mean, if you're Asian, it's you eat a big bowl of pho the next day. I mean, it just seems to help calm your stomach. If you can keep it down. I mean, that's the first part. If you can't keep it down, it's a tough day.
Yeah. Milk thistle, and this says it draws out the toxins and helps with liver health. So recommended 500 milligrams when hungover, and it did say 50 to 100 milligrams recommended daily just to help that liver out. And then Siberian ginseng, and that just helps with nausea, stomach pain, vomiting, and tiredness. And those are like some of the cures that I did find. One of them did say don't eat like a whole bunch of like dense fatty food, just because some people do, that does cause like digestive discomfort. So then if your body is already like struggling with the stomach and then you just throw all of that at it again, then it just makes it worse. Yeah. So that's kind of what I found.
No, like she said, I think she hit all the key points on, some of the tips that you can do just hungover. And I mean, the best one that I can suggest is just don't drink.
Right.
The older you get, just have water. It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth being hungover. But let me know what you guys have for tips, tricks, what you do when you're hungover.
And if you are going out for St. Patty's Day and use any of these tips, just let us know, see if they work or not. So,
but yeah, that's I think that's all we got, and hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content. Please follow, like, subscribe, share.
Share with your homies.
But yeah, that's all we got.
But yeah, like Christian mentioned, we do have quite a few things we are working towards for orders, so just bear with us. Yeah. We are working on some. We got,
and by we, Morgan's for all her.
We got
all her.
Lots of them out here this last, actually they got sent home with my sister. So 5 or 6 of them went with her, and we have quite a few on the docket. So bear with us and we'll get them out here shortly, but we appreciate everyone. So feel free to like, subscribe, share, like Christian said, and we will see you next week.
The next one, yeah.
Maybe next week?
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Cheese podcast.
Yeah. Cheese. All right. Bye.
Adios.